Look at this. Isn't it wonderful? Because it's basically a picture of no one. A picture of peace, quiet, and tranquility here in New Orleans Square. It's the Sometimes vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. And sometimes it happens in a rare moment at Disneyland when there's just no one. This has been one of the first no one moments at Disneyland for me in quite a long time. And I've been here at midnight every night for the past, I don't know, 30 nights or so. And this is really the calmest it's been in quite a while. Today, my friends, was the last day of the D23 Expo. I was not there today, but of course yesterday we all heard about Star Wars Land coming, and there wasn't a lot of information. For example, it was kept, unless you were actually in the panel, there was not a lot of video of what Bob Iger actually said, and there wasn't a lot of reporting on it right away yesterday, other than to announce that there was going to be a Star Wars Land, and all the rumors up to that point had included the knocking down of Toontown, the Heimbucking, the complete removal of Toontown. And so yesterday, everybody's reaction that I was with was super mixed between, oh no, poor Toontown, and, but okay, cool, so Star Wars Land. Well, today there seems to be a little bit more information. Number one, and why not get right down to the nitty-gritty of what everybody wants to talk about. I can talk about other things, but let's talk about this first. Number one, it seems like the proposed expansion is about 14 acres, and the number of buildings that we know they're replacing with buildings off property seems to, while including Big Thunder Trail and Big Thunder Ranch and Jamboree area, it seems that Toontown might actually be spared. So, whew, what a relief! We might get to keep our beloved Toontown at Disneyland, and, you hear that? Zydeco. Anyway, we might get to keep our beloved Toontown at Disneyland and get a new Star Wars Land. We were not told also, you'll notice, when we were going to get this new Star Wars Land, although Disney and Anaheim just made a deal for a $1 billion expansion of Disneyland's infrastructure, including a bridge over Harbor Boulevard and a new parking garage on the Pumbaa lot, and all these crazy additions and fixes to the infrastructure of the Disneyland Resort. And I'm pretty sure that's rumored to be completed around 2018. So if that's rumored to be completed around 2018, then you can bet your sweet patooties sometime around that time is when we should start expecting to see Star Wars Land either under construction heavily or, you know, probably not open. That seems pretty soon, doesn't it? But then again, they built this entire place, Disneyland, not as is obviously, in a very short amount of time as well. So what do you guys think? It's all speculation, but kind of speculation stage is sort of the fun stage where we all get to guess and have rumors. And by the way, I do have plenty of friends, not friends in super high places or anything, but I have plenty of friends who work for the Walt Disney Company and here at Disneyland who have told me of the rumors of the Star Wars Land, but all of them had crazy confidentiality agreements and stuff like that to deal with. And so for the past, I don't know, however long, I couldn't say anything that I'd even heard as a rumor because I don't want anybody getting in trouble. But now it's announced. Plus, Disney always goes back and forth. There'll be all kinds of rumors on what's coming or not coming here. And then, you know, 6 months later, the thing doesn't come. Where's the proposed change? Where's it at? Because things are constantly in flux. Until they announce it publicly, it's not a guarantee. And even then, sometimes it's not a guarantee. For example, International Street. When Disneyland opened, that tunnel on the right-hand side of Main Street now, where they open it up, it says livery stables, and they open it up and you walk behind Main Street when it's super crowded. That area was originally proposed to be International Street. If you go back to the very early days of Disneyland, you can see signs that say future site of International Street. Well, it's 2015, 60 years later, and we are still waiting for International Street here at Disneyland. We don't have it. We don't have it. Things are constantly changing. Always in motion is the future. But you can bet your sweet Heimbucks that Disneyland is going to get a Star Wars Land, and because everybody's so confused and so up in the air, it seems like for the moment that it's going to be located on the Big Thunder Ranch property, which is all behind Big Thunder Mountain that way, off of Big Thunder Trail. So how will they work that out? Will we lose Toontown? Who knows? Look at this. Look at this. There we go. That's a strut right there. That's a strut right there. I like that. Sorry. Just wanted to enjoy that moment of peace. It's been crazy hot here, above 100 degrees every day for the past few days. And I've been in the air-conditioned D23 Expo for 2 of those days. And then today, of course, I was actually in Disneyland during the hottest part of the day with Allie. She left today to begin 1 year of beauty school and beauty college. So it's sort of like summer vacation's over. Justin is all alone here at Disneyland. All alone. Wandering the big Thunder Trail. All alone. With nothing to do but wander. Dance. And dance. And dance. At least I have dancing. And at least I have you guys. And all of these wonderful strangers wandering around, staring at me while I do those things. So I took her to the airport earlier. A duck spit in my eye and it was leaking, so I was looking for a mechanic. I was waiting there, saw her plane take off through the leak, and I think I'm okay. I think it's plugged up now. I think we're gonna be okay. So anyway, that happened. Which then I'm wandering around here at Disneyland by myself. You know, you gotta turn everything into a positive, right? So the positive, the sad side is she's gone and off to beauty college for a year. But the positive side is of the loneliness is that, you know, we get to hang out with all of you guys and make some more vlogs and videos and crazy stuff, and she gets to learn a new skill, and we're all off back to our normal lives. The quest for positivity continues. There's almost always a silver lining. Sometimes, though, there just isn't. For example, well, I don't know. Maybe there is and there isn't. Yesterday, I totally lost it on the quest for positivity. I lost my cool. I lost my cool. There was somebody who had been reported, you know, you ever just know people who they know you a little bit and you know them a little bit, but you just don't get along. Something will come between you, or something will happen. In this particular case, this person was saying some not very nice things about me, and when confronted, was very aggressive, and then I was getting upset and angry, and there was a whole angry thing. The thing is that for me, there was a whole scene and I'm not even kidding, there was a whole scene where I was yelling and upset, and this person was yelling and upset. The whole thing is, for me, I believe very, very strongly that if you're angry at somebody, you have something against somebody, it's one thing to vent behind somebody's back. You know, you say the thing that you're frustrated about and you get it off your chest and you work it out so that it doesn't become an issue. There's another thing if there's some kind of ongoing thing. I really believe strongly in putting it out there on the table. I don't think Heimbuck would mind you telling this. I just like, you know, say like me and Heimbuck, I'm going to use as an example because that was a recent one. There was this thing between me and Heimbuck recently where I, you know, hey man, blah, 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 blah. And he was, hey man, blah, 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 blah. And we sat down and we talked about it. That's the way grown-ups deal with these things. I always believe that that is better. Even if it ends with both of you saying, you know what, I can't deal with you and I can't deal with you, so let's agree to not ever talk to each other again. I feel like it's better to tell the truth and be out there with the whole than it is to just like let something fester inside of you, and because that just rots you out. But at the same time, even though there's a scene and a craziness yesterday, you also just have to let it go. I believe strongly that you do need to put it out there. Other people always say, dude, you don't need to say something to the person, just let it go. Like, let it go as in like, don't even say anything. But I really, just personally, and I could be wrong, I weigh in. I personally, if I feel something really like strongly, like strong negativity towards someone, I want to put it out there and say, hey, here's the deal, here's the issue, here's my opinion on it, this is the way I feel. This is the same thing I would say behind your back, because I'm saying to your face. If we can't agree on it, that's fine. And at that point, you walk away and you can let it go because you've said the thing you need to say. Now, in life, you're not always going to get the chance to say the thing that you wish you could say to somebody. And in those situations, yeah, of course, you just have to simply let it go and move on with your life. But I feel like, even if you really can't stand the person, I just sort of feel like honesty is the best policy. If you're going to have to see that person in the future, you might as well say, look it, this thing you do upsets me, I don't like it, you don't like me. Roscoe Soul Train actually was talking to me yesterday. And I like the way he put it when he was talking about a situation he had way in the past where he had told someone, listen, I'm just not gonna do you any favors and you don't do me any favors. I kind of like the way he expressed it, but then he told me that totally backfired and the person actually kind of went crazy afterwards. But the thing is, you're gonna disagree with people. No matter how likable of a guy I am and how nice I am, I really do not have an aggressive bone in my body in terms of like, I don't go after people, even if I'm really angry at them. When I'm angry in the moment, I can, you know, be just as aggressive and upset as anybody. But I don't go after people, and I don't ever harbor like bitterness and want to take things out on people. That's just not my style. I internalize. I'll take something out on myself and hate myself way before I'll get negative on another person and be aggressive to another person, you know what I mean? But as loving and kind and forgiving as I can be just be just as temperamental as the next person, and I get just as offended as the next person, and I'm, if anything, actually, the flip side, the yin to the yang, the negative, the consequence of being super tender-hearted and loving and, you know, easy to forgive and all that stuff is that you're also easily wounded. So I get just as offended and touchy as the next person. Anyway, so I had this whole altercation yesterday, and it really like threw me off for a second, but after 10 minutes I was like, you know what, I'm not ashamed of saying the honest thing to the person, whether everybody walks away happy or everybody walks away disgruntled. I'm just not afraid of being honest with the person. You know, it's another thing entirely also to go up to strangers. There's also people on the internet. The internet is so strange. Adam and I always have these conversations about the internet, where people will say things to you on the internet who don't know you, who've never met you. They'll say, listen, I feel it's my duty to tell you this honest thing. And then they'll proceed to say the rudest thing they can think of because they forget that it's not, you know, they don't know you or something. In other words, people act online like they would never act in the real world. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, other than to say, like, a lot of times you'll get those people who carry the whole honesty is the best policy thing too far, and they go, I don't like the way this guy's face looks, so I better go and tell him I don't like the way his face looks. It doesn't mean express every thought in your head to everybody, but sometimes there's just things you got to get off your chest. Have you ever tried to get something off your chest and then had the person totally backfire? You were trying to put it out there and say, hey, here's this thing, this issue, and then it just blows up into crazy fracas that you can't get a handle on or anything like that. Anyway, but the quest for positivity is strong. So then on top of that, the next day, of course, Allie leaves to go home and go to beauty school and kick off this whole new thing. And I'm back here alone at Disneyland, feeling a little lonely and sad, but also excited about periscopes and vlogs and things of that nature, which are coming so soon. The summer crowds are winding down here at Disneyland, and soon I'll be able to get back to doing some cool Disneyland stuff that I really like to do. So there's always a good and there's a bad, but the good side, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, quest for positivity, going strong, feeling positive, despite having some setbacks, you know, whatever. Because also, I have some cool new projects. Speaking of new projects like Star Wars Land, etc., I have some cool new projects of my own that I have been noodling on. Hello, everybody. I have been noodling on some cool new ideas. Now, I have had some crazy struggles in the personal life, some that have destroyed my savings and destroyed some of my plans for the immediate future. But I'm preparing for road trip adventures and different things of that nature. Like I was talking about how we just did a Random Land, 5 weird things in Virginia City, posted yesterday. Some of you might have missed it because all the D23 chaos and excitement, because I know a lot of you are super hardcore Disney fans. You might have missed the fact D23 has very much distracted from the fact that I got 2 new Random Lands up, actually. Bodie, a huge abandoned town that became a state park and is now preserved in a state of arrested decay. Huge, amazing, authentic, old Western mining town in California, within a day's drive of Los Angeles or San Francisco, or very close to Reno, kind of. Very close. It's close to Mono Lake is what it's close to. Super cool Random Land episode. Very excited about that. And also 5 weird things in Virginia City. There's actually more than 5 weird things. The whole place is weird. Just posted Random Land. And I was explaining to someone, well, the thing about Random Land is, it's like everywhere's a theme park if you think about it the right way, right? So every place can be Disneyland. It's like, for example, Virginia City. It's the Old West, it's Frontierland, you know? We could go off and do some kind of crazy adventure and it'd be like Adventureland. So you have to think outside the box. There's more than just theme parks out there. People don't get stuck in a little trap. Although, you know, look who's talking. I got 4 fingers pointing back at me. I love to come to Disneyland. But Random Land is bigger than that. I like to show off places, real old Western places. That's the real life frontier land. We have oceanic arts history, you know, at the Tiki Room. Tie-ins there. The Tiki and Oceanic Art tie-in is like a real-life adventure land. So there's all kinds of different things. We went to Solvang, real-life fantasy land, and then we have real-life Rivers of America, going to Hannibal, Missouri, and looking at Mark Twain's boyhood home and different things. So it's got to be more expansive than that. We live in a huge world. There's lots of different stuff to see. So there's more stuff than just Disneyland. But having said that, there are a lot of cool things I'd like to film here and show you guys on the Random Land series. Just I haven't been able to get to it because summer crowds, crazy summer crowds. Sarah from Fresh Baked Disney and I were hanging out last night discussing the fact that it's sometimes very difficult for us here because of the different Disneyland videos that we've done, and you know, they do just only Disneyland videos. Because of different Disneyland videos, we get recognized here a lot and people want to come up and talk, which is all fine and great, and I like that, except when you're filming, because when you're actually trying to do the filming, you keep getting interrupted, something that should have taken you an hour, would have taken you an hour a year ago, now takes days sometimes just to finish it. So people go, how come there's a few less videos even though you seem to be working on it with more of your time? Because it takes a lot longer because we get interrupted constantly or just different stuff happens. But that's why the summer crowd starting to die down is really helpful. I've just all but given up filming randomly at Disneyland for the moment. But luckily, look, things are returning to their quasi-normal state as school starts all over the country. And by the way, isn't this beautiful? Isn't this beautiful? This was once the Casa de Fritos, where Doritos were invented. But of course, you've watched my Random Land video, so you knew that already, right? You knew that Doritos were actually invented at Disneyland. Did you not? Doritos chips. If you did not know that, you better Google how Doritos were invented at Disneyland, because you know what will pop up? The Random Land video about it. Anyway. So I'm excited about that. And one thing that I would really like, and that I'm very excited about, another project which I would really like, and only send this if you're okay with me reading them on a vlog or on another form of media, but putting it on the internet. If you're okay with me putting it on the internet, send me your weird stories. I don't care if it's a funny weird story, like one time my grandpa was sitting on the couch and the dog barked and he rolled off the couch and all the way out the door and into the pool. That's a weird story. I like that. A ghost story? A UFO sighting? That time that you went to the Old West and you bought a toy gun, but it turned out it was a real gun and you almost shot your leg off? Hopefully that never happened to anyone. That's a terrible story. But if it happened, send it to me, Justin at livefasttimeporter.com. Because we've been doing all these 5 weird things, right? We do 5 weird things in every land at Disneyland but Frontierland. So if you know some weird things in Frontierland that you like to see in the video, which is forthcoming, send them to me. Maybe they will end up in the Random Land video. But aside from that, I thought, because of the 5 Weird Things videos, people have been telling me all these weird stories when I run into them or whatever. They'll go, dude, I have a great story for you. You know, you were on the Queen Mary and you had an almost ghost experience in the Random Land thing. Or like, what could have been? Maybe a ghost sighting or something. So let me tell you my ghost story. Or someone told me, oh, I love your Roswell video that you did. I have this crazy alien story that I want to tell you. My roommate, you know, was convinced that he was kidnapped by aliens or whatever it was. Or Bigfoot or whatever. And people tell me all these weird stories or funny stories, or they go, oh, you know how you have the power of the cobra thing? Crazy story. My roommate one time brought over this cobra and it got loose or whatever it is. And I started thinking, man, I wish the rest of you guys could hear some of the stories people tell me. So if you have a crazy story or a weird story or super funny story, just any kind of story, like a 1-page story, not like a novel, and not like a, you know, 2 sentences like, hey, I went to Target and it was cool. Send it to me, Justin at livefasttimeporter.com. Also, you guys can still send me mail, and to Tyler, although I see him less frequently as of late because his job has been getting really crazy. Tyler really needs a new job, in my humble opinion. But Tyler's job is really crazy, so I haven't really seen that much of him. But you can still send us mail, 5753G, Santa Ana Canyon Road, box number 247, Anaheim, California 92807. I'll add that in the description once I get home, so you guys can see it, visualize it. The G is absolutely essential. People ask about the G. You have to put the G in there. And yes, we'll still send stickers sometimes if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope, but it's on a case-by-case basis because we're gonna stop doing that pretty soon. So If you've never gotten a Random Land sticker, you can still send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'll send you one. If you don't know what that is, Google SASE, self-addressed stamped envelope. Send it to the address which I just listed. But send me your weird stories. It may end up on a vlog or a Random Land video or something else that I can't talk about quite yet. Another thing is that I'm working on are some other things that are not Random Land related, not road trip related, not travel related, that I want to do closer to home. But I personally live someplace where I have to be very quiet between the hours of all of them. So I really don't have a lot of space to do things like people are like, oh, you guys should do another podcast, you should do this, that. I really don't have the space. And everyone else that I know that I'm involved with basically lives with roommates or other crazy things. So we don't have dedicated space or a garage or an office or anything. Where's Waldo? I don't know, but there's 3 of his girlfriends. Very strange. We don't have a dedicated space to do anything. So that's something I've been contemplating a lot. I have been looking at various offices to rent. Not that I can afford them, but I've seen some that are really, really, really cheap, like $250 for this weird office in Santa Ana, in a very murdery part of Santa Ana, but not too far from Disneyland and stuff like that. And then that got me thinking, maybe if I ask around enough, somebody will have a weird office space in their business that, yeah, they're not going to advertise it on Craigslist for rent because they don't want some random stranger coming in there and renting an office in their business. But maybe if they just knew it was just little old us, they'd let us use the office from the hours of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or whatever it was. So I'm trying to find some space to do some certain cool things. So anyway, a lot of ideas cooking. Too many ideas to talk about. And I can't be any more specific, and that's very, very frustrating. Now I know how Bob Iger feels about Star Wars Land. I'd love to tell you guys more about it and show it all to you. Well then why don't you, Bob? Why don't you? Anyway, back here behind Big Thunder Mountain, that's where Star Wars Land is going to go. That's where it's going to go. Will it? Heimbach Toontown? No one knows how to go, man. A lot of Giants fans at Disneyland lately. Have you noticed that? That's just me. Anyway, I don't really follow baseball, but I just haven't been noticing lately. A lot of the Orange and the Giants. Something going on? Did the Giants win something? Am I missing something? Anyway, it will go back here behind Big Thunder Mountain. I was going to do the vlog from back there, but it's very dark back there. You can't see anything. Darker even than it is in front of Big Thunder over here, which, as you can see, excuse me, is pretty dark. Anyway, that's the big news for now. It's all still basically... Huh? It's all... What? Anyway, it's all basically still rumor mode. It's the fun part where we all get to speculate and leave comments and talk about it. But if you do a little Googling, LA Times and the Orange County Register and, all the real life newspapers, USA Today and all those people, have all done stories talking about what Bob Iger talked about. They'll show some of the concept artwork that was shown off at D23, the officially released concept, the little teaser concept artwork and stuff like that. So do a little Googling and you'll see a little bit more about Star Wars Land, but that's for what I'm hearing now. We were all scared. Oh, well, it must mean that the rumors of Toontown going away must have been true. But from what we're all hearing now down here at Disneyland, how's it going, guys? It looks like Toontown might actually be spared. As a matter of fact, one person who works here, and this is just hearsay still, because they're a lower totem pole person in the pecking order of things, actually told me that Toontown might be getting a refurbishment during all that as well. So it's still totally up in the air as far as, I'm not Bob Iger, I can't say. I don't know where Star Wars Land is 100% the exact boundaries, but it looks like the initial, oh no, all the Disneyland fans, the Toontown might be destroyed, because that had been the rumor for a long time, that Toontown would be destroyed to make way for Star Wars Land. But then over and over again we heard Toontown's not going anywhere. Star Wars Land may be going to DCA. There was all these crazy rumors around. Well, turns out we might not lose our beloved Toontown after all. So I'll do more vlogs from Toontown and from the proposed site of Star Wars Land when it's daytime. But tonight I'm wandering around solo, alone. A lot going on. You can tell I'm frustrated. I don't know if you can tell that I'm frustrated, but I am frustrated. Lots of crazy stuff going on in the personal life. Lots of things up in the air. Lots of things being juggled around. I haven't figured out a lot of different things yet. But I'm excited for the future at the same time. Excited for Star Wars Land. Excited for new projects. Excited for Random Land. Excited for the Sometimes Vlog. Excited for Periscope. You guys know about Periscope, the live streaming app. You can follow me on there. Excited for Twitter, Justin Scard. Instagram, LiveFastDiePoor. Excited for the website, LiveFastDiePoor.com. Because I have some things I'm trying to work on with the website. And the website posting the vlogs when they actually happen, stuff like that. So, I'm excited about the future. Are you excited about the future? Send me some weird stories. I've got to go. I love hanging out with you guys. Just by watching this video, you've done your duty. Go home or sleep well. LiveFastLiveHard@Spreadshirt.com, Patreon.com/JustinScard, others. There's all kinds of links and stuff to follow and more things to see, and a million more vlogs we've done together. We've had some fun times. We've had some sad times. We've had some serious times. We've had some adventures on this vlog channel, much less all the crazy Random Land videos. So there's plenty of stuff to see and do. Just follow all these links that I post under the videos. You ever follow the links? Follow the links. I love you all. Goodbye.